Hail, we are live. How's everyone doing? We are going to have some Darth Vader toaster talk. We're going to show some images of two different Darth Vader toasters. Mike has one and Final has one. And got to say, they look kind of cool. If I had one like that, I wouldn't use it. I would put it on display in the middle of something on a big shelf so it could look nice. Yeah, right there. Let's see. Let's do this. Hold it up. Let everyone see.
It's a little dirty because it's been on a shelf and it has gotten quite a bit of use. But
you were supposed to wait for me.
Up.
Wow, I got trolls already. I got trolls already.
You got one already?
Yeah.
Nice. Didn't take long.
Mark says,
take long.
Put that back up there. Once you get trolls hitting your channel, you know you have arrived.
Yeah.
It's true. I've been finding them on Facebook. I've been finding them on Twitter. And every now and then, a couple comment. It's like I get real good comments from those that are checking stuff out, listening, and all that. And there's a few here and there will actually let me know. It's like, hey, you got a mistake there. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a major one. Yeah, it's a spelling error. I didn't even notice that one. So, yeah, I had to go back and modify little particles that had some spelling errors. And it's barely even noticeable. If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't even notice it. So we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian, the things that we like. And if there's more things we like than dislike, I would say. But
yeah, here's mine. Same friggin' toasters.
Oh, you have yours nicely set up and on display, all clean.
Well, no, but it's been protected. But I just set it out because my camera, my webcam sucks, but my camera's not too bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
These
my
cool.
my 6-year-old, when he was 5, he was Darth Vader for Halloween.
Oh.
And anytime he hears Star Wars noise, he goes, Darth Vader? Where's Darth Vader? He wants to see Darth Vader. It's like, as far as he's concerned, the whole movie can be about Darth Vader. Nothing but Darth Vader.
I wish we had a movie that was like that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that would have been a great movie. Like basically an hour and a half or 2 hours of the Rogue One scene. Just Vader going around wrecking Jedi on the hunt. It would have, I would have loved that.
The Purge story would have been tremendous.
Yeah, the Purge story. Yep.
I was always of the impression before Disney Star Wars, the whole lore of the Inquisitors, I was really foggy for a bunch of years where I really didn't do any more reading of it. So it's just me looking back. But to me, the Inquisitors always were a situation that they helped him find everything, chase everything down, and then of course once it was done, then he killed them all too. And see, I think that's they were only trained enough to be useful. They were just used and abused and thrown away. And that's the way I always consider them. And I think that would have been a really, really interesting, dark aspect of Star Wars to explore.
Yeah, they kind of just touched on it in Rebels. And you do, that's kind of, well, I haven't made it that far yet in the video, the Fallen Order, the Jedi Fallen Order game yet. But you do fight, one of the sisters.
How many different platforms is Fallen Order on?
It's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I don't know if it's on Nintendo or not. Imagine it is, but I'm not sure.
See, I don't do any more gaming anymore. Like the last gaming that I did was more like clan kind of stuff with Call of Duty people, with Black Ops type of stuff over the years. But see, I don't do console or PC gaming anymore. So this whole aspect of it, like none of my opinions based on any of that. I don't do any of that gameplay. So,
yeah. Mark wants to know, does it make good Sith toast?
It does imprint a burnt Star Wars logo on it, so it is in keeping with the Vader burnt aspect of things. It does do the job. Yeah, it burns him as well as Anakin on Mustafar.
Yeah, it's a toasty toaster. Like this one here has been used a couple of times, but I don't want to abuse it. I think when I get my space set up, I'm just going to give it a space on the wall, of course.
Yeah, I have actually another cool thing that I have to put on display. Here, let me see if I can grab that real quick to show you. It's pretty cool too. So I got this at Star Wars Celebration last year, or I guess no, this year. It was April.
What you got there?
Camera on. It's a Rancor Tiki mug, Tiki set, and it comes with a little Luke Skywalker who's got the bone in his hand there. Yeah. So it's a Rancor with Luke in the bone, and then it fits conveniently in the palm of his hand. So you do a little shot glass. A little shot glass there, and then you got the Rancor. Yeah, it's pretty
awesome.
Oh,
cool.
that is cool.
And they've got a bunch of them there, so you can see they've got the Han and Greedo. Yeah, they've got the Luke and the Jedi Knight Luke with the Gamorrean.
Luke Skywalker looks cool.
Yeah, the Gamorrean guard. And then you've got Leia as Bush.
The way those shapes are made, that would look like it would make a really interesting chess set, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. It would totally make a cool chess set. Yeah, the company here is Geeky Tikis. Geeky Tikis.
What did they want for something like that? I mean, I know it's American.
I think it was like 40 bucks, 40 or 50, somewhere around that range.
Yeah,
it wasn't ridiculous. It wasn't too for being at Star Wars Celebration. It was not too bad. But they were selling out pretty quick, and it is a dishwasher and microwave safe.
Is it a ceramic type of a piece, or is it more like a resin piece?
Let me see, because I think it's ceramic, but I actually haven't opened it. I haven't taken it out of the box yet. I don't know if it says somewhere in the box. Oh, I don't know. Damn, let's see.
Well, don't open it just for that. Final, if you.
No, I've been meaning to open it anyway, so it's not a.
Sweet, we're gonna get the unboxing.
Yeah, do an unboxing, an impromptu unboxing here.
Nice.
Oh man, wouldn't it be something if I knock on wood, like drop it and break it online as I'm streaming live?
Yeah, they need a baby Rancor in Mandalorian.
Hey, I'd be down for that. A baby Rancor? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
like
would be awesome.
Gnawing people's legs off and shit.
All right. It's out of the box now. Okay. Oh, sweet. I'm glad I didn't. Got it in there pretty tight. Oh, yeah. There we go. So here's the Rancor.
That does look like ceramic, and it looks
that's definitely ceramic. Yeah.
That's really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Made in China, of course. Yeah, I mean it does. It's China. It's ceramic. And then here's Luke.
Oh, very nice. Look at that.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
So you put him in here.
Yeah, they should make a big one of Luke.
I like the way that nice.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Nice detail.
Final good pick.
Yeah.
So that's porcelain, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's ceramic. Yeah.
Porcelain ceramic. Yeah.
Porcelain ceramic. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So I got to find a place to display that. I think I do know where I'm going to display it. I've got a few like the pop figures that I like. So I might put it somewhere up there.
So they got a whole bunch of different ones that you can get there, huh? Or do they have them all in one set? Actually,
no. There's different set. Yeah. So this was a set that came together. You could Greedo and they were like the 4 sets. There was this set. There was the Greedo and Han, and then Luke and the Gamorrean guard came together, and then Leia and Carbonite Han. Yeah. So they came as sets of 2. So this was the Rancor, and little Luke was the 2 in this set, which I liked because I liked I always loved that scene, the Rancor and Luke. It's a classic scene. Not that any of these are not classic scenes. I mean, they're all fantastic. Now you could add a McClunky in there.
McClunky.
action.
Yeah, the action-packed McClunky.
McClunky.
When I play my Star Wars sounds, do you guys hear that?
No. Oh, were you playing?
I can hear it a little bit.
Well, I got all the Jabba's.
Oh, I can hear that. That I can hear.
Yeah.
Like
someone laughing wickedly.
Well, we're talking about the Rancor, eh? I wonder if it will play. Will it play?
Oh yeah, I hear that.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
No, that's loud and clear.
Eating the Gamorrean guard.
The little pig guard.
Get you back to normal size there, Final.
Yeah, gigantic.
Ginormous.
Sounds. We got the music, eh? I got the whole, like, from the Lucasfilm, or well, Lucas Arts before Disney sold it, or before Lucas sold it to Disney. I went and got the all the sound effects actually. So I've got TIE fighter sounds and laser sounds and all the Jawa sounds, and so when I'm cutting up videos, I can put the real stuff in there and it sounds authentic because it's the real stuff.
Now, did they have that? How did you get that? Did they have that available to just download for free, or?
I'm sure that if you looked up, official Star Wars sound effects online, there might be a zip file or, a WinRAR file that you might be able to find that might be an older file. And that's all. Yeah. And that's all I did originally. I think it was from a file sharing thing originally. It was years ago. But in any case, they're all just little WMP files. And so you can load them up. They're all just little clips, a couple seconds long, but it's all the different sound effects. It's really neat.
So yeah, when we do our live streams, and after we're done with that, if it goes short, I kind of like the fact that we can do a late show. You know what I'm saying? After the main show.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of things that we could really be talking about with this Mandalorian show, and basically, Mike, you have some points about some of the music, and I would like you to go over some of those if you could.
Oh, okay. I like the spirit of the Western and the whole, desperate cowboy thing. I get the broken ship, although I think the Jawas would have stripped a lot more of it than that, and I don't think it would have been up and running like that. I was actually kind of disappointed that the Jawas didn't help them fix it, actually. I thought for an egg like that, the deal would have been, okay, we'll bring it back and put it together for you. And that it didn't happen that way, I was like, meh. So that it got fixed so fast is kind of a letdown for me. But I mean, that's just a minor thing. But the music that goes along with that, except for the action scene where it was all too rapid for you to really notice the music anyway. But the drum, I understand that tribal thing you were talking about earlier, Final. And I think that clannish tribal, it would certainly work. And I know where you're coming from with that. But I think this particular drum, I'm taken from Star Wars and put into the Return of the King. And I shouldn't be thinking about Tolkien when I'm in George Lucas, to me, it throws me off right away. Like right away, it's obvious. And the same thing with the creatures I was talking about dancing through the valley when they were, jumping over the cracked mud. I mean, that's Warcraft. I mean, I used to play for many years ago for years. And I mean, I ran over that same territory. I don't want to be taken to other worlds that I've already seen. When I'm in Star Wars where I go to see new worlds, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I get that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, it hasn't affected me. Like I've enjoyed it, and yeah, I've heard other music that sounds Star Wars-ish and not liked it as much. But I don't know. I guess I'm really looking for something that kind of just gets away from the trilogy, or not the trilogy, the saga, of Skywalker. And I guess, it didn't bring up those. Had it felt like Return of the King or something like that, if I immediately thought, oh, this is Indiana Jones. Well, I mean, that's John Williams too, so I guess I can't say that. But if it was reminiscent of something else to me, I probably would agree with you. But for some reason, it just didn't hit me like that. But it hits everyone in different ways. So
I can totally
understand your point of view.
I just mean like the drumming parts tending more towards the end when he's got the baby in the it's got the repulsor lift built right into the cradle, and so it's following him when they're crossing the dunes. And that's what I meant earlier. It was right around the 25-minute mark, I think, in the second episode. And it's like this grand parade type of, pompous, music. And I'm thinking to myself, but there's nothing like that going on. Like it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's very solitary.
Yeah, and I don't mean don't get me wrong, I am enjoying the show.
Did you guys notice the Rocky theme?
No, the Rocky.
Yep, it's normally when it's the Mando and what is it, Quail?
Quill, yeah.
Quail. Basically, when they're riding
Quail or Quill. I'm not sure if it's Quill. I'm not 100% positive.
Quill or Quail.
Yeah, it's Quill. I think it's probably Quill. That makes more sense. Kuil, like Quill.
Well, every time they start into a scene with them when they're riding their blurgs, I believe it's called blurg. A blurg, yeah. You hear that Rocky music starting out, and I think they meant it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the Lord of the Rings music.
And well, they must have taken it from Rocky because it sounds just like Rocky music. With keys changed a little bit, but still, it's been changed. I think it's what you call one of those musical Easter eggs.
All right. Well,
I think they were going for that Western feel, and all I heard was Rocky. Time to go box. That's
you mean like that rolling wagons into the sunset type of Western? Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like I heard Rocky music every time they do it.
But see, musically now, Bear, that's what I'm talking about. You and I right now are getting taken to different places, and neither one of them is Star Wars. So,
right.
To me, the music, again, it just, I don't know. And it's not that I'm not enjoying the show. I am. I don't really want to listen to it without the music, but I will if I have to. It's starting to irritate me.
Right.
Sorry.
And so what I'm wondering is it a gaffe or is it on purpose?
I think that, well, remember we were talking a little bit before we went live. I think that there's a few things that have happened here where Favreau and Filoni, because there's a lot riding on this, they're nervous, and it's because of the audience, and I can understand that. And so we were talking about leaving dynamic tensions too long in the episode. Maybe that's what they're doing. In music, we were saying before, it's not that they're playing the wrong note. The note's a pretty good friggin' note. It's just that it's sort of like they're hanging on to it too long. You know what I mean? And we were saying that earlier, and maybe that's what it is. And the music, it's disjointed. But as far as the pacing of the episode or how they're doing this story, it's not that the note is wrong. It's just that they're holding it too long.
Yeah, I think they're placing too much emphasis on the music, and because the music's not supposed to be in the forefront. It's supposed to be in.
I don't know. I mean, it depends because
it's
like
supposed
Imperial
to be
March
with. It's supposed to be balanced with the background.
Good.
And every now and then, in those pivotal moments, it comes to the forefront, and then it goes back.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's how it should be. And I find myself struggling to hear the difference between the background music and the music that's supposed to be what's going on in the scenery, and then when it blends back together and goes back. I'm straining to separate the sounds, because they feel jumbled to me.
There may be too much like blending and bleeding over into the sound
exactly.
effects and the sound. Yeah. Here, I queued up the music a little bit. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah. I can't stand that. That like I just I can't.
Now that you said Lord of the Return of the King, it's kind of
That's definitely got a Return of the King quality to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds majestic. It sounds majestic, and I think it's intended to sound majestic. I'm just saying it doesn't fit with what I do.
There's the Rocky right there. Maybe even a little bit of Conan mixed in.
It does sound Rocky-ish. You're right. It does sound Rocky-ish. Listening to it now with that sounds like the Rocky. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the part in Rocky
3.
where he's about to, where he's like getting his big, the moment in the ring where he's down, and it's like either you get up and you fight to the death, or you're counted out and you lose. Yep. It's like that's how it's that kind of Rocky sound. That big string, or it is.
It's in the first episode and in the second episode. So
But you know what else it kind of reminds me of, and I think maybe this is why I like it. It sounds a little bit like early 2000s Iron Maiden to me. There's some stuff that Maiden did that has kind of that orchestral quality to it. Like the Klansman kind of, I don't know, you guys, I don't know if Iron Maiden fans, but there's something in the structure of those chords that kind of remind me of Maiden a little bit. And I think maybe that's where I'm picking up some things. It's kind of hit me that way. I think that's maybe what I'm latching onto, or like you said, it kind of reminds you of Rocky Bear, reminds you of Return of the King, Mike. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Maiden sound.
And I'm not real up on some of the newer Iron Maiden, but I love all the old Iron Maiden. Now, if you mean new from like maybe 1995 or 96 or something like that, I don't even know if I've heard it, but all the old stuff, yes. And there was some where they had a big orchestra band on one of their I'm not sure if it was live album they put out.
They did they did a synth player who played a lot of orchestral stuff, but it was all synth on the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album, and then the following tour. So it was like the Made in England tour, which was their Seventh Son tour. So they did have like a guy who played a giant keyboard that played a lot of like the string stuff from that album. So yeah, I mean it could be a little reminiscent of that too. Talking about like Maiden's heyday. But yeah, I don't know. It sort of reminds me of that a little bit.
Got that rocky sound.
It definitely has a rocky sound as well. Yeah, totally.
And then maybe with some of the flaring sound, a little bit of Coney accent.
Just pause that for a sec, Final. Like for me, I'm really
like
sorry,
the horn
before
section.
the trumpet part there. Okay, for me, that's all.
That trumpet part's rocky.
Before the trumpets start, for me, that's all riders. That's all riders of Rohan leading and stuff like that. It's just
yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a rip-off. I'm just simply saying that I think that they should have really. I don't think music was a big priority. Like I said, I think the writer and the director were nervous because of the audience and because of expectations, a lot riding on it. And I think it was just they tried to focus on many, many, many other things. And it's just a part that I get that they're trying to do that Western kind of dusty back road feel to it, like an old 50s or 60s Western that we would remember. I get that. And I can tell that's what they're trying for. And that's okay. I'd like to watch a show like that too. It's just, it's clunky. I don't know. There you go, McClunky.
What they should do
McClunky.
is McClunky. What they should do is they should go back and watch the original Magnificent Seven to that soundtrack. Now that'll give them a very good idea. And even there's some old Henry Fonda cowboy movies as well. That would be really good to listen to.
I'd have to go and check those out. Actually, I'm going to go check that out.
Yeah, because there's a couple with Henry Fonda from '68. I just can't remember the name offhand. Van Cleve. Van Cleve's his last name. Can't remember his full name, but he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what I kind of wanted to see was something more, something more like that, like the Clint Eastwood, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, like that kind of vibe, where it's like Mandalorian and I mean they killed off IG-11.
Hey, little man.
Hey, little man. But something where it's like three bounty hunters kind of pitted against each other and sort of survival of the fittest, and then they have the potential of doing that because they kind of almost touched upon that with the first episode with him and IG-11, but then he took him out pretty quick. But you got to think there's other bounty hunters that will be coming after him, and if they could kind of do like a Good, Bad, and the Ugly sort of idea with the show, I think that's a good place to take it.
I mean, I heard somebody say the other night that, what we've really got is just cowboys and aliens done in a different way. And I, wow, same writer. So in any case, what's up?
Mark's comment, They need the Magnificent Seven soundtrack with the space horses in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
Purposely
There's some horse
blaring
in
right
there.
there for that moment, you know? Yeah.
Well, that's them final. It's McClunkety, 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 McClunkety across the deck of the fucking
McClunkety.
Okay, Bear. Here. Now listen to this.
Oh, what was that race movie? That running
Listen
movie?
to this. Now this. What do you think this is?
Sounds like fiddle. The backup instrument is fiddle with horns.
This sounds like the Mandalorian soundtrack, right?
I got a feeling it's not. Did they repurpose it?
But this is what it sounds like, right? This is kind of sound like what we just
Yeah.
What do we got, final? What do we got?
We just discovered they repurposed music.
What do
That's
we
the
got,
Rocky.
though?
That's the Rocky sound. That's the Rocky music. That's from the Rocky soundtrack. In the ring when he gets exactly what I was just saying, where he gets up in the ring.
It's almost identical.
It's almost identical.
So Brother Bear, this is something that has to be recognized. Good ear, Brother Bear, good ear.
Yeah, Bear. That was that's amazing.
So I
'Cause I didn't
noticed
realize that
it was
till you
actual
said it.
Rocky.
And as soon as you said Rocky, I'm like, my God, that sounds exactly like this. Like when he's in the ring at the the distance part, like where it's like either you get up in the ring and this is what's playing.
There you have it, folks. Live. Fandom Menace. Uh-oh, Disney. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Found it here. You heard it here.
Yeah, they definitely were inspired by Bill
Recycled
Conti.
Rocky music.
Yeah, that's Bill Conti's score for the Rock. He did the Rocky soundtrack, and they definitely
Mark, that was
were inspired.
actually the Rocky theme that he played to compare it.
Yeah, that's actually Rocky.
Yeah.
That was from the Rock. That's Bill Conti's Going the Distance from Rocky, the first Rocky movie. I believe it's when he's in the ring with Apollo, and it's like the eighth round, and Rocky's getting beaten, and then they start playing that music, and that's his like call to get up and.
So we seriously have Apollo in the show, and now the tunes, isn't that
right? Oh my God! Yeah, that's right. Carl Weathers,
nice.
Apollo's in the show.
Now I feel gross.
Yep. Apollo, the guy who played Apollo.
It's a good thing Steven's not in here right now. I can tell you that.
Man, this is a great find, though.
Yeah. Freaking A. Awesome.
Well, he'll be happy to hear that.
I noticed it the very first episode, and I don't know if I had said anything, but I had been mulling it over. I may have said something, but I noticed.
I don't remember you saying, yeah, this is the first time I've heard it. And usually I'm good at picking up things like that too, but I was getting more like Maiden from it, but yeah, it's totally Rocky.
So
if you
what's
copy,
the production company
if
for
you're gonna
Rocky?
copy from the best. The production company for Rocky, the movie? Oh, boy, I'm not sure. Let me see.
Rocky.
Studio.
Yeah, let's see. So, wouldn't you say that was basically from Rocky 2?
I think it was from Rocky 1. I think it's from the original Rocky.
Original Rocky? Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they might have used it. They might have used it again in Rocky
Probably.
2 because it's basically, yeah.
So let's see what the production company of that is.
Yeah.
How you doing, Random Brad Creates? What's going on?
What's up, Random?
I'm having a big brain fart here, gentlemen. What's the name of the actor that plays Apollo Creed again? My word.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yeah, Carl Weathers.
Thank you, gentlemen.
He's also been in Predator. The original Predator.
Also Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore. The guy is pretty talented.
Oh yeah.
He's got a wide range when it comes to characters he can play.
Yep.
Company
I was
credits.
on the same plane as him back from Chicago during Celebration. I was standing right behind him in line to pick up our the carousel to get our bags.
Winkler Productions. A Robert
Oh, so it was one of
Chartoff.
those early production companies, I guess.
So
Man,
I'll share this with you, Bear.
distributors, my goodness. United Artists, CBS, 1979. CB Films. I mean, there's like a whole bunch of production companies that helped. My goodness.
Well, here's what we have on the Twitter feed going up for you, Bear. I said, you heard it here on the fourth wave first. Thanks to the talented ears of our good host, Bear, we have discovered that Carl Weathers isn't the only Rocky relic that appears in The Mandalorian. So does the music. Congrats, Disney. So there you go. Good job, Bear.
Yeah.
That was a really nice find.
Yeah.
Tag
Yeah,
all
Bear,
that
you
out
should
so I
you
can
should
find
definitely
it.
make a video about that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think we're
Because
doing it now too.
I think you got the call on that one. So you should make the video on that. And if you want, it's the Bill Conti going the distance from Rocky. That's the music part of what I was playing there.
Yeah, put that in the private chat. I'll
Okay,
copy that
yeah.
to a notepad.
Yeah. Here, actually, if I can
The little shortcuts I like.
Do they think
Yep.
that all these fans and what I call legacy fans, that we won't notice things like this, or like I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, okay, the other companies involved with Rocky are F&B CISO, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, Panavision, Sports Studio, United Artist. And the main company is United Artist up top. And production company is Chartoff Winkler Productions. They produced a lot of stuff, movie-wise. They did Raging Bull 1980, Rocky. They did all the Rockies.
Oh, they did. Did they also do
They did
Creed?
Rocky 4. They did Creed 2, or is it? They did Creed. They did the first Creed.
Okay.
They did Mechanic Resurrection 2016, Rocky 3, The Mechanic 2011, Rocky 5, Rocky 2, New York 1977. Oh, and they were the original production company for The Mechanic 1972. Valentino 1977. Comes a Horseman 1978. I think that's a Western. Yep, it's a Western. Scarpa. They did Scarpa. Boy, they have got the serious list of movies they have done.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's any licenses that cross with Disney, or if Disney owns any licenses that have basically
I don't know
are able to use that music.
I mean, it depends on how strict they are with it, because it's definitely reminiscent. I don't know if it's like similar enough to to like have a lawsuit over it, but it's definitely very reminiscent of it.
Yeah, because there's
I don't think anybody's talking anything about a lawsuit here, gentlemen. I'm just simply saying busted.
It sounds to me a note for note.
No, I don't think it's it's close though. It's pretty close.
Real close. Real close.
Well, as I was saying before, we really just put the dots together there, Bear. If Baron is getting taken to Rocky and I'm getting taken to Return of the King, something's not right. And of course, something's not right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Check this out. Hello, Chris Persin. Evening, gentlemen. Did you cover the fact that the first 10 to 15 seconds of The Mandalorian then is similar to the Klingon, them from Star Trek? Theme. That is theme, right?
In which part of the show? Like at the very beginning, you mean, or?
Oh, he's talking about the Transdoshans. The Transdoshans, yeah. The Transdoshans are kind of reminiscent of like a Klingon.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like the Bosk. They look a little different than Bosk did in Empire Strikes Back, but
one thing I noticed was the eye color on the Bosks and the too much red in the eyes of the Jawas, which was nothing serious, but just kind of
remember the Jawas eyes being a yellowy, orangey color.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they are, and don't get me wrong, fellas. I want to see that. I'm glad to see improvement in the Jawa costumes, obviously, because they were really cobbled together. So it's good. I just think that it's too red. Like Bear's right, it should be a little bit more orangey.
A little more orange than red. I wanted to see. I didn't notice that. When I watched it, I thought they did look orange.
What did George Lucas originally want them to be, though?
Well, they look more like
We're talking about Dave Filoni and Favreau here.
Yeah.
They've listened to what George Lucas has said about certain characters. So somewhere in there has George Lucas says, actually, we made a mistake on the eye color of the Jawas. Has he said that? Is it out there somewhere? That's a good question to ask.
No, but
I have to rewatch that because I didn't notice it being red.
That's certainly something George would have corrected in the special editions if that would have been an issue.
That's very true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's you know how we were talking about, you know, with Star Trek franchise that, you know, this much of the percentage of the IP has to be so much different because it's represented by CBS as opposed to Warner Brothers and all this weird contractual nonsense. Do you think maybe the Jawa eye color is just one of those stupid little things?
No. I think that's probably just. I think it's probably just like whatever light bulb they used is just different than what they used back then, and it just gives off a little bit of a different glow. Because they kept true to like every other part of the character.
Oh,
the voices, Utini. I think it's just like that was the great.
That was the greatest part of the episode, the Jawa scenes, and like I've talked frequently. Everybody loves Jawas.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you not like Jawa? And then Jawas in air. Jawas out of windows. Jawas in air.
We had Jawas screaming, Jawas flying, Jawas falling, Jawas run over, Jawas getting crushed. We had Jawas screaming. It was beautiful. It was lovely. Wow.
I want to cut like a montage video of all the deaths that the Mandalorian inflicted upon the Jawas and have like the background music of like the ballet. Ba-na-na-na-na, ba-na-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. And you see like slow motion Jawas flying out the window and being thrown over.
Get on the video final. Get on the video final.
Yeah, I know. I might do that. I just thought of that right now. It'd be kind of funny. All the Jawas in air.
Either that or
Jawas being disintegrated.
Either that or Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Flight of the Bumblebee.
Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see if I can find an image of the Jawas from Mandalorian. I want to get a good shot of their eyes.
What we really need is a cantina sounding orchestra that plays a Western piece. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here we go. This is a good shot. Okay, they do look more red. You're right. They definitely have more of a red.
It's not serious. I mean, they're still Jawas. The scenes are awesome. I'm just saying it's a little too.
You got an image. You got a before and after image.
Yeah,
you want to throw
I'm gonna put that in the. There's the here. Okay, it's in the private chat, so you can throw that up there. Oh. What's up, everyone in the chat? I just realized I haven't really looked at the chat, but I see a lot of Chris. What's up, Chris? Hail, Chris. Random, Mark, Little Man, Mike.
Yeah, and check out that image real quick while it opens. Slow, kind of.
Oh shit! I was thinking I wasn't on mute. I was typing furiously.
So yeah, the image in the CBR article, is that an older image or is that
the one that I just sent? That's a new image. That's from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's kind of it definitely looked a little bit more red in the TV show, but this image here looks a little bit more orangey.
Hold up! You're giving CBR hits? What's wrong with you?
It was just the first image that.
I'm not going to show them.
Of his eyes.
I'm definitely not going to show them. But yeah. Now, that image right there, that looks very, very red. It's where he's on top and he's got the rack in the background on top of the land mover.
Yeah.
That giant monstrosity of a machine. Basically a giant tank.
Yeah, the sandcrawler.
Yeah,
sandcrawler
giant tank.
Yeah. Let's see if I do. I'm going to try to find an image from the original.
There's mine.
Yeah, I mean here's one. You see, like, yeah, you can tell like I think it's just they just didn't have the optics to be able to really pull it off. Oh, this is from StarWars.com. Here, Bear, I'm going to put this in there too, so you can like see the difference between the two. I like that picture there. Mike, that's a good.
Why don't you share your screen real quick, and I'll show it that way.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Share screen. Oh man, I must have reset all my settings because I have to allow the. Give me 1 second.
Here, try that one, Bear. That's a good example right there. You see what I mean? Just a little bit too red.
Yeah, there's one where he's up top, and boy, it's like deep ruby red. And you see, all right, what they don't realize is when they put red eyes and thing like that, some cultures, what you're doing is you're scaring off cultures because they don't want to look at things with red eyes because they're scared of it. In a lot of
Okay, there you go, Bear. It's the original.
Yeah, it was more of an orange.
Yeah.
Orangey yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and natives around here, things with red eyes, they don't like that. Don't ever look anything if it's got red eyes. You don't look at it. It's a cultural thing for them.
I wouldn't look at something that had red eyes unless it's Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, it's species that's supposed to have that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's. But I think it's just I don't know.
Random
I think
Brad. I've read all the EU books. Definitely. So that's how I know as I call the new Star Wars.
Here's a screenshot that I took of episode 2. See?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've read all the EU books, and basically New Star Wars, NU, I've been referred to it as New Star Wars. Disney Star Wars, NU Star Wars, New Star Wars. They have been pilfering the EU. They basically they canned it and says, hey, no longer canon. Put this aside. Refer to it as what are they calling it now? Legacy or something like that.
If you go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, the Legends.
Yeah.
At Wikipedia, yeah.
And so Legacy of the Force and all those books under those titles and all that and all the other ones were just set aside unceremoniously. And in my opinion, disrespectful. Hail Sentinel.
Hail Sentinel.
And I think they basically that was the first division as far as I'm concerned. When they put that aside, they alienated a lot of Star Wars fans. Big time, right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
There's some older fan art, just so you can see for a second, Bear. That's older fan art.
Yeah, it's definitely an orangey yellow.
Well, but I mean, we know our artists around here, and artists are pretty particular, and they try to do renditions that are true. And so, why would an artist be picking yellowy orange kind of eyes if that's not the way Jawas appear? You see, and so like I'm saying, it's not something serious. It's just it's a minor thing. I'm just saying it's noticeable, and just one more thing that pulls on your fantasy.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I am very curious where it goes because the final shot with, we were talking about this the other night, the Mandalorian standing, the concept art of the Mandalorian standing there with the, the repulsor lift, crib or bassinet, I guess you could call it. I was saying to Allison, I think somebody come up with a really moving shot and they say, hey, build me a show around this.
Yeah, I thought the EU has done a serious injustice when they just set all of it aside. That was the first clue. We should have known right from the beginning that was the first clue that they were going to write their own characters and do their own thing, and they were going to do what they were going to do to the original Star Wars characters. That should have been our big, huge sign says this is what they're going to basically do.
No, but nobody would ever be. We would know fans. It doesn't matter who you. No one would ever think that they would take a 30-year legacy like Luke Skywalker and destroy it. Nobody would ever imagine such a thing. I mean, that's foolishness. What's happened is foolishness.
The signs were there, though. They certainly were.
Oh yes, they were, but I don't think even. I don't even think
along the way.
Oh yeah, but I'm sure even at the time, the most astute person to put all those dots together, I still don't think that we would have imagined what it is now and what's become. You know. I just hope for, better times and better days. And like I said, I really hope the season, as the episode, if we can put all the episodes together by the end of the season and take it as a piece in itself for a season and judge Filoni and Favreau for the piece of work they've put out for us. I mean, I'm looking forward to being able to do that,
Yeah, Chris makes a pretty good point. Isn't Maz Kanata a Jawa? If so, her eyes aren't red or yellow. Couldn't that be part of wearing different goggles?
Well, I heard other people saying something about her being a Jawa. Didn't you? When Force Awakens came out, didn't you find out?
I've heard it mentioned.
I heard talk of that.
I'm sorry, talk of what?
Of Maz Kanata being a Jawa.
Being a Jawa?
Yeah, back when Force Awakens came, there was a little bit of chitter chat.
Oh man, no, I hadn't heard any rumor like that. No, I hope not. I hope not. That's another, like that and the Sand People. Like there's certain elements in Star Wars that they got to keep the mystery of like what do they really look like under there, and I hope that that's not Maz Kanata. I mean, I guess I could see it, her stature and everything, and I guess the fact that she likes to collect things, they're scavengers. She has Luke's lightsaber amongst, I'm sure, a ton of other things, but man, I don't know. I hope not. Yeah, I mean, see, Chris, I don't know because their eyes, I'm guessing they're probably like protective lenses or something that enhances. I don't know. You think their eyes are really like little beady?
Oh,
maybe.
No, those are mechanical.
Yeah, I mean, I would think because they're wrapped up to protect themselves from the sandstorms, just like the Sand People are.
I don't think it's just the sand. I think that they're sensitive all around. I think that they kind of have like a. How when you in Star Trek, for example, you'll go to some H-class planets where you just need a breathing apparatus, but other than that, everything's fine. So for them, because they're on multiple planets, they're scavengers everywhere, and so they just kind of wear their gear and adapt it to wherever they go. They don't really, and so it's like their survival gear, I guess. I think I'm assuming, but I like that mystery part.
Yeah, I don't really want to see them, explain everything.
Yeah, I love Joe. Just like
ruin the lore.
Yeah, it looks like
we're already questioning the whole thing with this yodeling. What the heck is this thing? Yeah, keep the mystery about it. We don't need to know everything about everything. Sentinel asked a good question there too. How did Maz find Anakin's lightsaber in Bespin, a planet that's a giant gas giant? Yeah, a giant gas giant. A gas giant. A planet that's a gas giant. Well, yeah, that's a good question. We still don't know, And she said that's a story for another time, but apparently that other time is going to be a book or a comic or something. But I think there's a planet down below Bespin. Bespin's like the mining. He had like the mining facility. Cloud City was a mining facility that was up above Bespin, but I think it's not. I don't think it's just a gas. I thought there was some solid form there as well, but I'm not.
I always thought it was just a gas giant.
Well, bring us up. Bring us up. There's an anchor. Bring us up. There's an anchor plate for the city. Like, bring up the picture if you can, Bear, of Cloud City, and you'll see down below the first layer of cloud that you'll see. There's got to be there. There's an anchor plate down there, or
there's that something.
Yeah, and so in the comic concept that I think that they were talking about, there's a scavenger group that literally just picks up all the crap, like in Mars Needs Moms, like underneath the city, basically.
Yeah, because the best one was just the colony. It was like the city that was in the clouds, but it was above a planet.
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember,
not necessarily a planet. I mean, it was a gas giant, but there was a lower platform, sort of like where the dregs of society kind of dwell.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on. Okay, so I'm on Wikipedia right now. Actually, here I'll share this screen. If
Well, some gas giants, because of their
yeah,
mass,
I'm sharing the screen if you guys want to.
they can't possibly have solid cores, and so the cores are pretty dense, but it'll be liquid.
Yeah, so it's a man-made gas mining colony hovered above the gas giant Bespin. Okay, so I guess it was just a gas giant. Does it say anything beneath?
But if can you
Up
find,
here it says and the planet calls it a planet. So I don't know. Can a gas giant be considered a planet? Do you have to have a physical?
No, it is a planet. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it is. It's the only question is there a surface? And I don't think there's a surface. I think there's an anchor plate. See how the spire goes underneath Cloud City down into the cloud?
Yeah. Right over here.
I think there's there. See, there's a ballast ball down there because it must be pretty windy on a gas giant. I mean, look at the storms, right?
Yeah.
So
you think his hand and a lightsaber would fall? Like I'd say Luke is somewhere here, right? You think it's gonna fall all the way and like land on this thing without sliding off?
Hey, it's Star Wars. You can use a force point.
Yeah, remember that lightsaber has been touched by the Force.
Wow, there you go.
And also Rey does everything without any training, so anything's possible.
There was a hand. Did you find the hand?
See if it's trying to find something that it doesn't really say what's beneath it, so I guess that's it. So it is I guess that's all there is. All there is to it.
It's either the little
little man says there's possibility Jupiter has a hydrogen ocean.
Oh, there's a pressure. There's a pressure level on Jupiter that probably contains a variety of different liquid everythings. Jupiter puts out more radiation than it receives from the sun. It's what you call a failed brown dwarf. It has a lot of hydrogen and helium and probably enough to light, but it's not massive enough to make enough friction to get going. And so instead it acts as a shield and a barrier protection for us.
Here it says the station was situated 59,000 kilometers above Bespin's core.
59,000?
What's the core made of?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
That can't be right because
so maybe there is a core.
59,000 kilometers. Orbit for the Earth is only 50 to 60 kilometers. You're past the atmosphere after 50 kilometers. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really say what the core, but it does have some sort of core. So I don't know. We'll leave it to the writers, and that's a writer and comic book problem at some point.
Is that in Wikipedia? Are you in Legends or in the news?
Yeah, this is Wiki. No, I'm sorry. This is StarWars.fandom.com.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's linked to the Wikipedia.
It's linked to it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but click on you're not on Legends. Click on Legends.
Oh, that's canon. Well, yeah, that's canon.
Yeah, we want Legends. So let's see what Legends says because that's older detail.
Oh, Legends is 60,000 kilometers as opposed to 59.
Nice.
But there's really here's all the layers. Yeah, here's schematics, government, population, history. See something where it says that's a cool shot there.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Little man says they should have done new planets in Star Wars based off of exoplanets we found, such as planet with ice on fire or a planet raining glass with high winds.
Oh man, a glass planet with high winds. Oh.
Yeah. That would definitely be something that's dangerous.
Yeah, very tough.
Titan's pretty cool. It rains sulfuric acid. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, okay, so that's one thing about, Lucas's prequels compared to the sequel trilogy that really stood out. I mean, he pushed the boundaries. He was creating new worlds. Like all the planets you saw, they were, they had a uniqueness about them that you don't really have with the sequel, with the exception of maybe the casino planet, but I wasn't too crazy about that whole Canto Bight thing. The planet itself was kind of cool. Just the whole point of that going there was stupid, but but otherwise it's like we've kind of seen Crate. Yeah, it's so like a cell planet that has the red on the ground, which is kind of unique. But that whole sequence was just basically the the Hoth scene reimagined. I thought Lucas had a little more creativity when it came to the planets and giving us something new,
creative.
And also, not just the planets, everything. Like the starfighters were freaking awesome. It was all the Jedi fight.
What is a sinkhole planet?
Oh man, yeah. Where's it go? Sinkhole planet.
The pinned comment right there. Utapau? Is that how you say that?
Oh, Utapau. Yeah,
Utapau.
Utapau. Yeah, that's where Kenobi fights Grievous in Revenge of the Sith. The planet. Utapau. Yeah. It is like a sinkhole. That's right.
That is weird.
It has all the layers of rock that just go up, and it drains into that one center mass hole.
Just recycles itself that way.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but yeah, see, like again, that's a nice, unique idea for a planet that they just didn't want to go with any of it.
I guess I never really saw the planet as a sinkhole.
Yeah, Camino was the ocean planet, which was cool.
And that's the layers of the stories in each episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
The different planets, different sceneries, a change in the story or the mood.
I mean, Mustafar is really cool.
Because when they went to the fiery red planet, it was like lava, and yeah, that was the scene change and the change in the mood when things went dark.
Yeah, and then even when you have like the scene when Order 66, when he orders 66, you have all the Jedi dying in there, and they're all in like unique planets as well. There's the one planet that's like all kind of like tropical weird, flowers and plants.
Yep.
It's just it's a lot of unique visuals that you don't really get with Starkiller Base, which is kind of like, look like it could have been on a Hoth sort of.
Right.
And then,
did they ever say what planet they destroyed to make that?
It's probably I don't think in the movies. I'm sure it's in some, something.
Probably in some.
What's this one? The planet they just which one's this? Around
the one that's Starkiller Base.
Oh,
whatever Starkiller Base is. Yeah, what the planet was called. I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they mentioned it in the movies, but I don't remember 100%. I'm sure it's in a comic or a novel. It's probably in the novel for The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I thought the flower planet was pretty cool looking.
Yeah, it was like I want to
flowers the size of trees,
Fallujah or something like that. I think it was called. Like, it wasn't Fallujah, but something like that.
Imagine because when you got things of beauty, there's things of equal, opposite, deadly stuff in jungles like that.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine the beautiful flower that can eat you.
Yeah. A Venus flytrap that's human size. Little Shop of Horrors, baby.
Indeed.
And then like for Force Awakens, I thought that the planet that Maz Kanata was on and the Resistance base was like the same planet. It looked almost identical.
There was a lot of similarities for sure.
Yeah, they both had forests. They both had some water. They were both very green. They were very, very similar. So when I first watched it, I thought it was happening on the same. I was like, wait, did they just travel to a different part of the planet? Because it looks like it's the same place. But just that lack of imagination, I guess, or just I don't know. It's maybe just lack of trying that hard or wanting to keep things more. I think they were worried about going too digital with it, So they wanted to keep everything like concrete, structured in like reality. But it's like, because all the practical effects, that was a big thing, and that's cool. But I don't mind a little bit of digital backgrounds, to make it look unique and different and galaxy far, far away. But yeah,
I don't know.
Oh,
I think
wow.
there's things from the EU that could have been used, like the Yuzhan Vong that everybody would like to see so much of, with the outside force coming in to invade the galaxy. Anybody that's, I mean, the Chiss people would more or less
Yeah, the
recognize.
Battlefront 2
yeah. But it's
game.
okay. Yeah, it is
It's a
Felicia. So I
Sentinel
was right.
comment.
Yeah, Felicia.
It was implied that Felicia was had horrors that scared the clone troopers till this day. And it's hard to scare a clone trooper.
Yeah,
Not
unlike
much
the
scares them.
incompetent stormtroopers, they were a lot more badass.
Well, the Battle of Fallujah would have been pretty. It's sort of like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids kind of world where all the stuff is pretty.
Oh, right.
Everything's trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have been an interesting battle because they had all their heavies there too. So I mean, that would have been an interesting battle.
Yeah, Mark, you're right. Disney Star Wars does lack creativity. It's like they're scared to actually do something good. To make something worthy of being watched, worthy of sitting in a theater, eating popcorn and having a soda and being awed by a new Star Wars movie. Well, we didn't get that.
Yeah, no.
I agree. Little Man space is so vast, so many ways to come up with cool ideas for Star Wars. Maybe a acidic ocean planet or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Geonosis, was a cool planet. Looked, it wasn't just like it didn't look like a Tatooine, it's a rock planet, but it had its unique look. You could tell the difference between where you were at. You were never confused as to what planet you were on.
So, what do you think this particular Mandalorian is related to?
Oh, what do I think it's related to? I mean, I think they'll keep with the related character. I don't think he's gonna be. I mean, he'll somehow be related, probably in some way, to somebody that maybe appeared in Clone Wars, but I don't think he's gonna be a direct tie-in to any original trilogy character. I don't think he's like Boba Fett's clone or other.
I think he's going to be related to Boba Fett.
I don't think he will be. I hope not.
He's going to be related to him because he's part of the same clan.
Yeah, but I don't know. The clan members don't necessarily mean it's family.
It's true. That is true. But he did have blood family. He was married. And he had a couple. I think he either had a sister or he had a brother. Because you know that Boba Fett was the Mandalore in the EU.
Yeah. And he was a direct, he was a clone of Jango Fett that was unaltered, so aged slower. So any other, I don't think he can't be like another unaltered clone of Boba Fett. He might just be also, maybe he's from the clan, the Fett clan, and somehow related to Jango in some way, like yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's some kind of blood relation in the clan. They're related by blood.
It could be. Yeah.
Because the farrier doing the metal work, you know what farrier is, right?
No, I don't.
Blacksmith. Farrier is another word for blacksmith.
Okay.
And the farrier working the metal asked him, "Did you reveal your symbol?" Signet, was it signet? As she said, I think it was signet.
Yeah.
Did you reveal your signet? Did you notice the signet above the archway when you walked in there?
I did notice that. Yeah,
it was Boba Fett's
I think it's
clan
the same one
symbol.
that's right. Is it this one right here? Right on the screen that I'm circling there. It's his. Was it that one?
Yep. I believe it is that one.
I think it's that one. Yeah, I have to watch that again, but I think it is that one. It looks very familiar. Yeah, it was like above the door or above her like fire pit or something, right?
I think when he reveals his signet, his symbol of his clan, it's going to be Boba Fett's clan signet. And he is going to probably be some kind of relation, a cousin, something.
Yeah. I could see them doing that. As long as they just keep it, unrelated enough. I mean, you can have connections, and that's cool. That's fine. But I don't want it just to be, one straight, like, oh, it's it's Jango Fett's brother, so it's Boba Fett's uncle or something, whatever. I mean, I guess the age wouldn't really work out for that, but something like that, it's his second cousin, I guess second cousin would be okay, but like not a direct relation to him.
I'm just looking forward to the exploration of the, Mandalorian diaspora that's spread out and how all these connections are going to go all around. And I mean, we're talking about a lack of variety in the planet so far, but keep in mind, though, I guess the series really does have a possibility of opening up a variety of different worlds. And so I guess we should look forward to that part, even though it's been a little dreary so far.
Yeah. And,
I believe that we're going to get more dreary backwater, hole in the ground type places because, let's face it, that's where bounty hunters go. They're in these dark, seedy kind of places.
I mean, I liked the planet that where the guild was. I thought that was cool when he's walking through the town. I thought that was a cool.
Did you notice when they pulled away from the town, you could see the black spot where they're dumping stuff?
Oh no, I didn't notice that.
It's an ice planet. Basically, it's an ice planet.
Yeah, see that it was cool. That was
when he went to retrieve the blue guy.
Yeah,
when they were pulling away from the planet after they left orbit, they showed the reverse on the planet. Big old black spot, obvious black spot, and that one guy says they were using it as their dumping ground.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good little detail. Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff that I think with Filoni you'll get, because even on Clone Wars and Rebels, like you had new worlds. Things were different. They didn't look as familiar as they do in the sequel trilogy. So, I think with Filoni, you'll get some of that stuff. Hopefully, at least. And they did have George come in and consult as well. So, taking his input is always going to get you something more original than not taking his input and just making two planets look exactly the same.
Yeah, lots of sandy, rocky, rugged planets, I think, is what we're going to get tastes of.
Yeah, the Old West,
right.
Coming lots
of
from
dust, lots of sand.
Little town that's,
because this last episode he got his share of mud, man. He got mud freaking and everything.
I don't think that was mud.
That's a very good point.
Yeah,
it could be a bunch of poodoo.
Yeah,
well, I'm pretty sure it was some poodoo.
I mean, I like the fact that his armor was all beaten up and kind of torn off, and it was pretty cool.
It makes him believable.
Yeah,
it makes his character believable. He's fallible. Doesn't do everything exactly perfect. Does exactly maybe what he needs to, and kind of wishes he would have done something else, but okay, that worked. Fallible character going through the struggles. That's a good thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no Gary Sues here.
Nope. Gary Sues. Yep. He's going through trials, tribulations, a hero's journey.
I mean, Spork was talking earlier about treading the line half and half, trying too hard. Trying to walk the line in the middle, in the neutral ground, But I mean, it's still following in the character is believable. The character is, like you say, fallible. Makes mistakes, has to think quick and recover from them or die, in certain cases. And of course, in other cases, little fellow will come along and help you, But that's just a nice dramatic effect. And what do you guys think of what's his name? The fellow that helped him again?
Favreau? No. Quill.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that character overall and the practical effects they use for him as opposed to the CGI?
I like it. I'm down for it. I think he looks pretty good.
I think he does
pretty
too.
Neat.
Yeah.
I like seeing it.
Interesting character arc between the two.
Oh yeah, and he seems an indifferent. Well, okay, he seems a content man in his life, whatever it is that he's doing by himself, out doing his little thing. So he doesn't. He provides like a stability, underlying stability behind everything that's going on. Just because he seems like that old Ben kind of steady character. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's not involved because he's in for excitement or adventure or anything like that at all. I think he's in for the principle of it. So it seems.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he didn't want anything out of it. He didn't want any reward.
Yeah.
Just,
In fact,
he even said like you've saved my valley, or you've made my valley safe again, and that was like all the reward he wanted.
oh well, when he first dropped him off, remember when they were just sitting on the ridge looking over the first battle, right before the IG-11 unit.
Yeah.
And remember when he said to him there, he said, there's not been any peace in our valley since they've arrived, but since you're here now, I think you'll make quick work of it, and then there'll be peace again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I wonder who those guys were. Like were they bad guys or were they good guys? Because they weren't doing the baby any harm. But who knows? They could have been holding it for someone else to come and pick it up and take it. I mean, we don't know. There's a lot we don't know about. But I wondered that. Like, are these guys? They're protecting the baby.
I have a feeling like there's a reason why we're not doing any Nar Shaddaa, storylines in any of these planets, because I think they're trying to stay away from Hutt space. I think is what's happening. They don't want to represent. They don't have an efficient way to represent Hutts believably and for mainstream consumption. So they're trying to stay away from Hutt space. I get that, and so that's why we're in, the unknown. Not the unknown territories quite, but we're in the Outer Rim, and that's because there's all sorts of these weird little small guilds that mine and salvage and scalp and strip and do all sorts of things in all little corners of dark little corners where there's not a lot of coverage because the frontier is so wide open. And so, whether they're bad or good, I don't think really matters. But if there's small groups of settlers on this small little world and, a bunch of strippers show up, well, it's going to make life difficult for them. And so even if it's just a quiet little off in the corner space. And so that's a believable part of the story for me,
Yeah. I also would not be surprised if we see Jabba's son coming into play in this show.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I think that they're nervous about staying. Like Lucas had a lot of trouble with the Hutts, even though he really thought they were important enough of an influence on galactic relations to include them, as significantly as he did. But look at how he messed with them and tinkered with them and tried to get them right, because they are a creature that's hard to represent. Yeah,
but I mean, he did introduce the Jabba's son in the Clone Wars. So
yes, absolutely, and Jiro the Hutt. I mean,
yeah. So we know.
I just watched that episode.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. Yeah.
The baby. Yeah.
Well, I watched the 2007 Clone Wars movie, and then I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of the first season. I'm thinking UK. I'm saying series.
One thing that that's great about having Filoni involved with this is he's really good at tying things, like putting things in that will pay off later down the road. There's things in Clone Wars, you get the payoff in Rebels. There's things in one season, you get the payoff in a later season. So I'm hoping that we'll get some payoffs from, maybe Rebels in Mandalorian, or maybe some things, from Clone Wars, especially with Mandalore and, all in that, the siege on Mandalore, which I think they'll explore that in the last season of Clone Wars that's coming out. That'll tie in. We'll get some payoffs in the Mandalorian show, because he's really good at doing that.
Mm-hmm. And, as far as taking things like that, I mean, we were saying this earlier about the uniqueness of George's creations, and each step of the way that he takes, he tries to introduce some new element that's, for lack of that dazzles us, for that. Oh, that's what's the new, the new. They do have an opportunity to do that. And, speaking of the Hutts, just having the difficulty of the creature, depending on the age of the Hutt, I mean, it's really hard. Some of them use, repulsor lift kind of cradles themselves to float around, and, they're quite mobile. And so I just assume that, but look, there's so much variety and diversity in the Star Wars universe. You don't have to, we can go off into directions we've never seen before, and Favreau and Filoni do have the opportunity to do like George did and take some of the creatures from the universe and some of the places and really take us to places to explore together. And that would be an interesting way to go about it, instead of doing too much nostalgia, because I think that's danger too.
Yeah, like we call the nostalgia sandwiches. Empty, not filling, leaves you wanting for more because you didn't get enough to begin with, and what they
Yeah.
showed you was just a cheap trick. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I want the full meal deal. Forget the nostalgia. If you're gonna go nostalgic, make it good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't want crappy stories. I want good stories. I want them to be believable, and I want to see the characters struggle in their journey.
You know, if you had a great Star Wars story that only had the budget of the Battle of Endor for, for material, props, and set, if it only had the budget for that, and you had a great Star Wars story and you did it up on the screen, people would still go see it because it was a great story.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta have good stories.
The number one complaint of the Fandom Menace.
It is.
I mean,
the
Focus
biggest.
is not on storytelling.
There's a misunderstanding also that they think when we even when we talk about it, we try to say we're just talking about the storytelling, not this other garbage. But even then, they're like, well, every time we try to do something new, you guys, la la la. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Inside the coloring book, there's these things called lines, and you're supposed to draw inside the lines and make us a pretty picture,
Yeah. Well, like the perfect example of that is the Clone Wars TV show. Like that, because that fits. They changed things. They added characters. They developed a further. I mean, the same thing as the EU. They developed the universe or the galaxy. They just made it bigger and more connected, and they did it in the right way. Like you said, they followed the line. They stayed within the lines. So there's a way to do it right. And I mean, that's what I think. Like, so far, I get that sense from Mandalorian. At least they're respecting the lore so far. I don't know about the yodeling thing yet, but they respect the lore as a aside from maybe that. So yeah, there's a way to do it right. And Rian Johnson took his risks, and they weren't the right risks to take. He shouldn't have never. I don't think he was the right guy for that job. Knowing that his whole mentality of what constitutes a good movie is half the audience has to hate it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that guy loves controversy.
Yeah, why would you hire that as for your Star Wars movie? It just doesn't make you want to make half the audience angry. If it's a film you've never seen before, sure, why not make it controversial? Don't do that with a franchise that people are invested in, to the degree that they are with Star Wars. Or you get the Fandom Menace. That's the result.
I always just have this like outside of myself feeling that we're part of some elaborate movie that somebody's watching, and Star Wars was part of it, and our reaction was part of the movie. And we're just sitting here in disbelief, like, is this real? Did this really happen? Kind of pinch yourself to make sure, then kind of take your hand and smack your cheek a little. Am I awake? Come on, wake up. It's like, okay, I'm awake. Shite, I'm awake. It really happened. And I keep going through this over and over through my head every now and then. Like, wow, this has really happened, and this is happening, and wow. Mind blown, that a corporation like Disney could just be so black hole suck everything that's good into it, and then everything just nothing. Yeah. Blown away.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everything progresses a little more smoothly with this show. Like I said, I think we should give these two fellas our benefit of the doubt for now, because to be quite honest with you, with everything that's gone on in the last 3 or 4 years, that if we really want the folks that we know Star Wars and love Star Wars like we do, when they do something that's in the right direction, we got to make sure that like my criticisms of the show, as far as I'm concerned, are pretty minor, really. I'm enjoying watching the show. My friend that sits here and watches with me to check it out, I like watching their reaction to seeing it, just so I can kind of see where I fit on the scale, and from casuals to other people, the reaction seems to be mildly positive overall, let's just say. And I really want to make sure that the people that create Star Wars for us know that we are waiting for something good, and I hope that this becomes part of that.
Yeah, I agree. We have to, let
Well,
them know when they're doing a good job so that they keep on track, and also to send a signal that like, hey, this is the stuff we like, and then that other stuff, like basically to say, hey, Favreau and Filoni, if they continue this, you're doing a good job. Kennedy, not so much. Send the
Well,
signal. Here's where we want you to take this.
I honestly, I heard Gary at Nerdrotic mention earlier. There is a video. That's an interview. I'm not sure of the circumstances of the video, but it's KK that was being interviewed, I believe. I'm gonna have to find this because she kind of inserted herself into the Mandalorian, saying, "Oh yeah, I have." It's like kind of taking. It seemed like she was kind of taking credit. It's the impression I got from Gary the way he was talking about it. That it was she was jumping into a picture to be part of the picture metaphor. Those my words basically, and that's the impression that I got. That she's trying to take credit for Favreau and Filoni's work in some ways, trying to be present.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I really gonna have to find that link to that video somewhere.
Hey, you know what? I would congratulate her if all she does is step aside and let them run the show. Then I'll say, you know what, KK, you did a good job. You did this. You did the right thing. That's what the kind of leader that we want. Step aside and let the guys that know, really what they're doing with Star Wars do their thing. That's a sign of a good leader. Know your weaknesses, know your strengths, know your team, know who should be
behind.
It's not just know your team. You got to trust your people.
Yeah, let them do their thing. That's a sign of a good leader. So if she wants to be a good, good president at Lucasfilm, then yeah, let them do their thing. Get the people hired that should be hired, like these guys, and then let them do their thing.
You're not wrong to mention that either, Final, because so far with director she seems kind of shaky, and I'm really sorry. Somebody owes Gareth Edwards an apology. I'm sorry.
And Colin Trevorrow too. Trevorrow.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen his script.
I me too.
Alive. I would have liked to have seen what he was going to do with that.
Well, the thing that intrigues me about that whole scenario, Final, is that I read an interview. It's an obscure interview from probably 2 or 3 years ago, just before Last Jedi, I believe, or maybe just after. But anyways, it was Daisy Ridley speaking about being at a dinner party somewhere, I believe, and Colin had taken her into a side room because he was beginning to do some treatments and wanted to talk to her, and she went in to speak to him very privately about, can you keep a secret type of thing. He wanted to talk with her and gave her a few insights into the character. And someone's coming in the door, so I might mute myself. So one sec. Yes, sweetheart. In any case, Daisy had said that after Trevorrow had spoken to her, and learned what was in store for her character, that she cried. And so that insight from Daisy herself for the last couple of years, I haven't really talked much about it, but it's always intrigued me, and I'm really curious after everything blows over what she might have to say about something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the point we were making, on the other, our fourth wave on Stephen's channel. It'd be interesting once the kind of dust settles and everyone kind of moves on from these movies, what they have to say about them, looking back and realizing the controversy, and maybe that their characters weren't handled to the best of the ability of the writers, or they didn't have the writers with the ability to handle new characters like that. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what their thoughts are if they open up.
Hey,
about
speaking of showrunners, wasn't Feige just given creative control of Star Wars?
No, he was given creative control of Marvel. He was given a new trilogy for Star Wars, but he was given
I knew it was something like
Marvel.
that.
Yeah, Yeah, he's got like total creative control of Marvel. I mean, basically like the Kathleen Kennedy of Marvel now. Yeah, but he does have a trilogy, apparently with Star Wars. So there's nothing, we don't know any details on it yet. Or I don't know if anything's gotten out, but I haven't seen or read or heard anything.
It'll be the biggest thing, and it's Kenobi. Come on, gentlemen, let's get real here.
He's not attached to Kenobi. They already have a showrunner for that, and it's.
Oh no, I don't think it's going to be a show.
Oh, you think they'll do? Well, you think they're going to do a Kenobi movie after they do a show?
I don't know. I think that they're so. I think they're all over the place, and I think that it's misinformation everywhere in some regards. I don't know why McGregor would do a show of Kenobi. I can't. I don't know if I can watch Star Wars with Ben Kenobi on the small screen, man. I'm sorry.
It'll be different. Very different. It just depends. Like, are they going to have a good enough story to drag out for like 10 hours or 8 hours?
Well, that's the thing. And then they just drag out.
Desert. I mean, I'm sure they'll have some. There was a good novel about him. It was like an adventure he had while on Tatooine, guarding Luke, and it was his struggle trying to. It was like he was mixed up in a situation where he wanted to help the locals, but he also didn't want to give away he was a Jedi. It was good. It was like right before Disney, I think, bought Lucasfilm. So if they use something like that and adapted it, you could probably get a story.
Someone in our chat is time traveling because they're already in Sunday.
They say Happy Sunday.
Yeah, here.
Well, it depends on where in the world they are. I mean, it could be
Sunday for me. Thanks for asking.
They're over. Yeah.
No, it's tomorrow in Australia.
Is that Mikhail?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce that, Mikhail?
Yeah, probably Mikhail.
Mikhail.
Yeah. Mikhail's Navy.
I knew a Mikhail.
I think it's Mikhail Wolf.
Mikhail Wolf.
Hail to you.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I gotta jump out. And go put my 2 cents in on an EU stream right now.
Very nice.
Who's streaming over there?
Yeah, it's Ryan Kinnell. They're doing the EU book club, so it's like Lethal Lightning. Stig's on there right now. Mara J there right now, and then Holocron, Keeper, Evan, and Callum Jones or Callum. Is
there any way
I think they like rotate people in? So I'm just gonna jump on that for a little bit. And
does anybody keep a link for that reading club? Does anybody keep a link to the book list that you guys are using that you could post up for everybody that wants to catch up?
Gosh, I don't know. It's if you follow. Ryan posted. If you follow Ryan Kinnell on Twitter, he posts like dates on what the book is. Here, let me see if I can just get his Twitter real quick. I can post that up. Yeah, he does.
Well, it's RK Outpost.
Yeah, RK Outpost. And here's his Twitter. Here, I'm putting in the private chat. I don't. I can just. Am I wrenched? Yeah, I'm wrenched.
Yes, you are. Yep.
So there.
You all are wrenched.
Okay, there you go. So that's
everyone in the fourth wave was wrenched.
Cool. So that's the Twitter for Ryan, and he posts. I don't know. He posts like what they. Right now, we're doing the Thrawn trilogy, so it's one book a month. This is the reading club or the talk, I guess, the round table, whatever you want to call it, for Dark Force Rising, which is the second novel, and then we'll go into Last Command, and I guess do that next month sometime. Have the round table for that. So yeah, if you guys want to read along, it's pretty cool. And then I think it's going to be a vote. Like he did a poll on Twitter to see who. Or what I think he gave like 3 options, and Thrawn trilogy, was easily the number one that was voted on. So, but I'm sure we'll be getting into like Old Republic, and there's the Thrawn duology with Spectre of the Past and Visions of the Future. I'm sure we'll probably do that.
I believe I am reading one of those books.
Yeah, I just finished Spectre of the Past, which was good, and it's kind of lead up to Visions of the Future, which I have not started yet. I read it way back when. Same with the Thrawn trilogy. I read them, way back when they came out, in like the early mid 2000s, or I mean, yeah, early mid 90s. So, but I'm refreshing myself now. But all right, guys. Well,
I think I might have that.
We'll talk to you guys later.
I'm gonna make
Yeah,
my
I
way.
have a whole bunch of Darth Vader graphic novels on Kindle app.
Yeah, the graphic novels were cool too. The Dark Horse stuff.
Yeah, that's where I grab a lot of my really cool screen grabs of Darth Vader. And of course, I got the Iger. I got a sample of his. Of course, in that sample, they don't have the Lucas part of the sample in there. You'd think they would have that in there, being it's so juicy.
Yeah.
Alrighty, you have a good one.
All right, you guys too. Thanks everyone in the chat and all our awesome mods and you guys.
Indeed,
Chris. Yeah, you have a good one too. All right. Well,
we'll keep going for a little bit longer, Mike. If you want to keep going.
All right, I'm gonna bow out, guys. I'll
a few more minutes.
May the clunky be with you.
McClunky.
And always with you.
And always with you.
So yeah, that was an interesting conversation for sure. I always like talking.
It was.
I always like talking.
So yeah, so to sum up, Final discovered that it actually sounds almost exactly like the Rocky theme song from Rocky.
Yeah.
Made that correlation.
It's awesome.
So yeah, man, I'm just like, wow. So I was really hearing what I was hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think that was a really good discovery. So good ear, Bear. Good on you.
And he gave me the link to I just had a knock on the door. Probably a 5 or a 6-year-old one. So
that's quite all right, Barry. You're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. We can cut it off if you'd like to. And
all right, let's see what the chat has to say. Final thoughts.
See if anybody wants to come
the
in.
Mandela Bubba.
Someone could come in and fill my spot actually if they wanted to.
All right. Yeah, I think it's time to call it. And we will see all you fine folks at a later time. And hail to the Phantom Menace, and thank you for coming. Thank you, Wrenches, and thanks for coming, and have a great night. And have a tea, have a beer, have a Coke, or have whatever makes you happy. Hail to the Phantom Menace.
Hail.